bars, and he used Nas bars too, and compared himself to Nas, or saying he's better than Nas, and came at Nas and used Nas' verse,
which was a very great battle to say the least compared to what's going on.
And Nas killed him.
So you don't think so? Potential reach? You think
he reached his potential,
yes, okay.
But he had a lot of help.
Kicks in the arm. You saying
he had a lot of help?
Chris, so you saying you don't feel like he was there to be there?
No, he's there in his mind, but there mentally, because he got himself there mentally. He's an intelligent creature, I must say, because he was using 48 Laws of Power back in '96, and he used that on various MCs and artists, and that's how he even got in the game. As far as that's how he got out of the game, as far as going to different industries, owning his own record label, getting $7, $8, $9 off an album back in '96 when nobody knew or heard of that. You see what I'm saying? So he was definitely there mentally, but as far as his talent wise, he kind of like bullied his way in.
What did he say? Imaginary player. He said, I seen a single when he said yours was 99 cents, mine was $4.
You see what I'm saying? He was saying that back then. You see what I'm saying? But his mind, he's a genius mentally. He's up there, but and that's how he stayed relevant for 20 years. How long? 10, 30 years?
Man,
20 plus years. And when he was around, I started having this conversation about him being the best. Like, I was out of high school, so that conversation didn't happen in high school. I graduated in '99, but when he was around, he just wasn't in that conversation. If you said, like, in '97, who better, Jay-Z or Prodigy? I'm taking Prodigy off the top of my head. Like,
well, I'm going to go with that. I think, like, 99, 2000, that's when Jay-Z started really getting that. Who was in that top 5?
Yeah, that's when he became relevant. Before then, he was just a third string rapper. He was just like Tupac said, Hawaii Soapy fame dude. He was a fast rapper. He was like Bone Thugs and Harmony. And
that's why he was the originator. So he's like Jigga the A, Jigga the Y, Jigga the D.
I like that though. I like that style too, by the way. But
very fast.
Yeah, I liked everything he did except for Blueprint 3. That was like trash to me.
It has to be like the longevity though, because I feel like people have these spurts when it was hot. Like now everybody be like DMX so crazy, but for like a split time when DMX had like it's dark as hell and it's hot, everybody loved Jay-Z for those, not Jay-Z, DMX for those years.
He ruled it.
Yeah, like for those years, and like he had his time, and I feel like if we could go back to that time, that would be wonderful. But you as an artist, that's your job to, build your empire and stay consistent over the course of time. And it's not like anybody doesn't like DMX, but DMX is not here right now. Like, you're only in that one bracket of years. Mm-hmm. Like, and we loved you then, right. But right now we're here.
Yeah, I lasted. So we'll slide to number 2. So your favorite / best album of Jay-Z. For me, so I was kind of like you, Armand, like in high school, junior high. Like I was like a Jay-Z little hater, but on the low, I was like copying everything he came out with. You know what I mean? Like I had Streets is Watching, I had Volume 1, I had Volume 2, but it was like I still was like I was ducked down. You know what I mean? I was Black Star. I was like Mobb Deep. I was like the underground stuff. You know what I mean? I was like, man, this is commercial radio stuff. You know what I mean? But on a humble, I'll spend my little $9, $10. I was always gripping his joints. So I gotta go with. I mean, I love Streets is Watching. That's like his lost tapes to me. But I gotta go with the rookie card, man. I gotta go with Reasonable Doubt because, it took him 26 years to make that album, right? So, like, how can any other album be better than that when that's the album that he spent his whole life making? So that's why I really give kudos to artists that can really, their second album, their third album, their fourth, fifth album is dope. You know what I mean? Because it's so hard. Like, think about it, man. Like, you're a kid. You're a teenager, and you finally get on. You don't know if you ever going to make another album again. So you putting all your effervescence, all your essence into this one body of work, and you feel that. I listen to that album probably at least once a year. Like, it may not sound a lot, but once a year I listen to it front to back. You know what I mean? And I always listen to it around this time because for some reason, Reasonable Doubt just reminded me of like wintertime with the fur, with what he had on, and you know what I mean. And yeah, man, and it just like Ashley said, it's like continue to being the best version of yourself and just keeping you on your square, business wise, on point. You know, keeping everything intact, even with, with girls, with your homies, with your career, with your lifestyle. So I gotta go Reasonable Doubt for me.
I think for me, like Volume 1.
I love Volume 1, man.
Yeah, Volume 1 was my joint. Reasonable Doubt was my joint. But a lot of people, when we was like talking about that stuff, people didn't care, but I think Reasonable Doubt went gold.
Right, Volume 1 put me on Jay-Z. Like I tell everybody that. Like ain't no nigga was on the radio, but but I didn't get that album. Like I had the single. But when Volume 1 came out and he had what's the joint? I love Mrs. Thug Mrs. Child Mrs.
Don't matter, you man.
I'm like, the video. Oh, then I bought the CD. You know what I mean? Then he had John Sunshine with Foxy.
Oh, I love that.
I said, okay, now, and you know what I mean?
I love that sample. Yeah.
And so I'm with you. That put me on Jay-Z, Volume 1.
I didn't pay him no. I really didn't. I paid him attention, but it was like. I wasn't a huge fan like I was of Nas. You know what I mean? Like I was of AZ. I was like, oh, he good. He from New York. So I listened to his stuff, but it wasn't like I was going in on him. But as I got older and started listening to and I becoming a teacher and see how he rhyme and he put certain rhymes together and he's disguising it, in his rhyme. Like, damn, I really came to appreciate his stuff. Like the thing he said, Coke 4/5 and got youngest that are blasphemy, no religion. When you say stuff like that, I'm like, damn, people don't even pick up what he talking about. Yeah. And remember, he was dissing Beans, Bleak, Emil. Remember, I think it was the Blueprint. He said, you got a couple of beans, but you don't got a clue. The situation is bleak. Cause fucking with me, you gotta cop a mill. He said, you gotta drop a mill. Cause you're gonna cop, you gotta cop for real. Yeah. You're talking about dropping her. Yeah. Bleak is weak. You can't really. The situation is bleak. And Beans don't got a clue. Like DJ Clue, he was coming at the people on his own record, and then they didn't even pick up on him. I'm like, this dude is a smooth dude. He's saying when you drop a mill, he think we're talking about money. He's talking about her. You mess with me, you gotta drop her. Something do it for real. They dropped her. So it was like, I'm like, yo, he was going over so many people's heads. I was like, yo, I'm rocking with Bull, man. As I got older, I was like, yo, dude, he nice on the mic. I always thought people was trying to slight Nas by, pushing him. Like, yo, he better than Nas. He way better. You know how some people we know, I ain't gonna say their name, but they be like trashing Nas. And they big fans of Jay-Z. I'm like, yo, how you trashing him? Right. How you like Nas but hate Jay-Z? Or how you hate Jay-Z but like Nas? Like, to me, you can't hate one of them because they both so good. How can you like one of them? So there was like a big argument.
It's like kissing styles. It's like they in the same genre. Like they the same cloth.
Yeah. So how you hate one?
True.
Like,
very true.
You know what I mean?
Like that, Halle Berry unattractive. So I don't like her. I like Beyonce. I'm like, hold up. Well, they kind of both attractive, but you.
Right. Yeah. So we'll roll to the next joint. So legacy. So what's Jay-Z's legacy to you guys? For me, Jay's legacy it's interesting because it's like it's still growing. Like, you know what I mean? Like he may do something like next year that may like top everything we just spoke about right now. You know what I'm saying? But to me it's interesting. I think his legacy will kind of go down as like being like the guy who founded Rihanna or the guy who married Beyonce. More than his actual music, which isn't a diss, but it's just like it kind of goes to say how far his rap career actually came, and how his career gave him multiple opportunities. But to me, his legacy will just be ongoing. It's evolving. Like it's going to be in the rafters somewhere. I don't even know. Like I said, I don't even know what it'll be today. You know, like, when we do this for artists and stuff like that, I usually can answer this question pretty clearly. But for him, it's just like he's constantly evolving. Mm-hmm. His track record is like ridiculous. You know, so I don't even know what the brother gonna do next, man. But
he's like not in a box. Some people are in a box. He's broken himself out of the box. So I think his legacy will be as though even today, I think he's more like what people are kind of aspiring to be. Like, they don't want to be just like him, but in hip hop, they want to come in, rap, and kind of like elevate themselves into all these different other things. And I think that's what he's done. And I think people are making him like, they're putting his word next to like, you know, he's successful. But certain people are successful, but it's like, you know, you ain't no Diddy, like you ain't no Jay-Z, you just successful in this one area. We're gonna need you to like use rap as your highway into other areas and other cultures and other businesses. Then you can say you made it. But until you get like to that level, like, yo, like I rap, but I done came in off this rap stuff and turned it into like 5-10 businesses just by like using my raw rap talents as a like a, you know, like as a I don't know how to explain it.
Tool.
Yeah, as a tool to get into other things. And I think people, you know, are aspiring to not just be a rapper. I think it's deeper than rap. Like, he's like, you know, like, I'm not, he's like when they say Jay-Z, they're like entrepreneur, businessman. They rarely ever say rapper next to him. They might, but like, he's kind of like, yeah, he's kind of like, you know, brought in himself to be like more than a rapper. So
which is crazy. That's amazing.
Deeper than rap. Because he's like limitless. Like they haven't, like, other cultures or corporate America or anybody hasn't limited him to just rapping. Like, oh, okay, you're coming in, oh, you rap or whatever. He's like, yeah, I do rap, but, you know, I do a lots of other things that have nothing to do with rap. And a lot of people want to go into liquors now. He has that. People want to go into sports teams. He has that. So finding other ways to reinvent yourself again and to keep making money. Like, keep making money. Like, he, you know, I don't know.
But before you go, Armand, before you touch on it, I just wanted to, I just got reminded. I was watching, they did I think it was the 20-year reunion for Duck Down, right, for Sean P. Mm-hmm. And they had Sky Zoo on there, and he was talking about the history of Duck Down. I mean, my bad, Buckshot, history of Duck Down. And then they were saying how Duck Down, him and Drew High, they created an independent label with Duck Down. And the dude, Peter Rosenberg, Hot 97, they asked him, like, you know, that was really innovative. Like, in 93, you know, you guys, or 94, you guys, you know, started an independent label. Like, nobody was doing that. And then Buckshot was like, he's like, actually, you know, he's like, we saw Damon Dash and with Jay-Z and what they were doing at Rockefeller. So they was like, you know, let's get on that. And I didn't even know that Rockefeller predated Duck Down. And I'm like, dang. You know what I mean? Like, because we didn't get the first Rockefeller release until like 95, 96. Whereas Duck Down, what? They came out like 93.
But all they did was recognize, like, you have to, like, when you're very great at something, you have to, like, recognize your power and recognize your influence. So it's so much power. Like, they have so much power to bring people together or lead or change trends or change cultures or change how people think. So they're like, yo, we're so great at rap, we're going to do a clothing line and see how people feel about that. And people where we are, they're like, yo, like, they look like us. They sound like us. They got money. They do the things we do. They, you know, they like what we like, but we see they in like a different lane with theirs. And we associate so much with hip hop. Like, hip hop is us, like how we live our life. And hip hop associates so much with, I want to say most likely basketball, definitely football too. I think maybe basketball a little bit more. I think basketball is kind of like a little parallel with hip hop culture. But they took that and they were like, yo, like, so we're gonna have these clothes Like, we don't need nobody to help us. We can do our own label, even though they probably was backed by Def Jam or whoever may have been the person at first before they got, like, fully funded by themselves.